In this video, I will demonstrate how to make a frequency distribution using the data from example 3 in the Measures of Location of Data section from Chapter 2 of our textbook. To begin, we set up the frequency distribution by labeling each of the columns we will use. This particular problem refers to the sleep per school night in hours and frequency of responses. And so I will title my first column Sleep per School Night and my second column Frequency. In order to make the sleep per school night in hours look a little nicer, I will click the arrow next to the alignment tab up on the home tab of the ribbon. And then I will select wrap text. That will stretch the text out so that it looks a little bit nicer. I also double clicked the line between B and C to make the column B big enough to fit the word frequency. Next, I'm going to enter the data. These are the responses from the students about the number of hours that they slept per night. And then under frequency, there were 2 students who said that they had slept 4 hours, 5 who said they had slept 5 hours, 7 for 6 hours, 12 for 7, 14 for 8, 7 for 9, and 3 for 10. Next, we'll add a new column titled Relative Frequency. Once again, I will click the Alignment tab and wrap the text in that box so that it looks a little bit nicer. And then the final column will be Cumulative Frequency. And I'll wrap that text as well. In relative frequency, we want the percentage or the proportion of students that fit into each of the categories. And so to get that proportion, I type equals and then click on the cell that includes the frequency of the 4-hour per night students. And then divide by 50 because there are 50 students altogether in this study. Once I've done that, I can copy this formula down throughout my chart by grabbing onto this little square in the bottom right corner and pulling it down. Those relative frequencies should match the ones given in the table on the book. Finally, to get the cumulative frequency, we would like to add up the frequencies, or add up the relative frequencies of all of the students who fall at or below a particular entry. And to do that, I have to be a little clever with my formula. I'm going to sum. I type equals sum. And then I'll click on this cell. That's the top cell. After clicking on that cell, I'm going to press the F4 key. What that'll do is that'll set this particular cell reference as an absolute cell reference so that when I copy the formula down, the cell reference won't shift. As you can see, when you press F4, it just inserts $signs in the cell reference. We could have put those $signs in there manually, but it's convenient to be able to press F4 to get that. Next, type column or comma. It seems to have messed up my absolute cell reference. So I will go back and fix this. Let me just press enter and then double click on that. Select that first cell and press F4. So notice that I'm adding up everything from cell C2 to cell C2, which isn't very much, just cell C2. Press enter. So your formula should look like this. Once your formula looks like that and you have 0.04 in your cell D2, then grab that little box there, the little square, and pull this formula down. And you'll notice that when the formula moves down this column, the second cell reference moved with it, but the first cell reference, the C2, didn't shift, which is what I wanted. And now I have my frequency distribution, including relative frequencies and cumulative frequencies.